Hello, I am going travelling again. This time it's for almost 3 months, that's 88 days to Japan, and I'll be stopping off on Kuala Lumpur on either side of this trip. The reason I'm doing this is because the flights are so expensive going directly from Edinburgh to Tokyo that it's actually cheaper for me to take a regular flight to a cheap country in Asia, and then after that I can take an LCC, like the equivalent of a Ryanair, from that country to Japan. Somehow 2 sets of flights are cheaper than 1 direct flight. Last year I did the same thing. I went to Bangkok and that was pretty good because I got a little taste of another place as well. So it makes it more worthwhile to go to these other places on the way, because usually I wouldn't go to those places, but because I actually save money in doing so, then I get the opportunity to go to these places for a little while and just see what it's about. I'm actually doing this voiceover almost a month after arriving in Japan, so yes, I'm a little bit late on these videos. Actually the phone is running out of space, so that's really a push for me to get these videos edited and uploaded, just so I can delete them off the phone. But never mind, laziness aside, having a very good time. I had a really good time in Malaysia. Yeah, Malaysia's pretty cheap and there's a fair amount of stuff to do there as well. I found that it was, in terms of the kind of stuff that I like to do, it was fairly similar to Bangkok, but that's not to say it was a bad thing. It was actually a pretty cool thing to do. No pork though, that was a thing. The weird thing about that is, if you think about pork as being the cheap food, the cheap meat used in food dishes, and that's not there now, so it has a knock-on effect of what other foods I ate. So I ended up eating a little bit more fish than I would usually do, a lot more chicken. It was actually pretty good. At this point in time, I'm thinking about my next trip to go travel again, and I'm thinking about maybe, instead of a 3-month trip to Japan, I'm actually thinking of a 9-month trip abroad. So go to Japan for autumn time, and then for winter time I'd go for 3 months to a southeast country such as Bangkok or Malaysia, and then back again to Japan for spring 2025, and then finally back to UK for summertime next year. The reason I'd want to do this is because it's actually almost the same price as going back home by staying in Southeast Asia, and that is in part just because the prices for the flights are so ridiculous. But I was pricing up, and I've worked out it's going to be maybe about £1,500, which, let's be fair, is a bit under double the price of the flights. However, just as an experiential thing, then why not have that, and maybe I could do that, give that a go. I should maybe speak a little bit about how I'm kind of able to keep on affording to go on these trips. The short answer is I live lean fire, so that means financially independent, retire early. My last main income job ended in 2022 when I ended working with my pal in Japan doing software stuff. At the moment I'm living off passive income generated from property rental and interest from investments and savings. In the last year or so, I've worked it out, I spent roughly £700 a month, and that's amortised, so that's including expensive months when I'm paying for flights and holidays, and then cheap months as well when I'm staying at home in Scotland and not really spending that much money. I've had friends show interest in the fire life, and I should really do a more in-depth video about how I got there and maybe some recommendations about how to get there. But for now, the basic most description I'd give is, if you have maybe 25 to 30 times savings or investments that you'd intend on spending each year, and always be thinking about living within your budget. I think for me, because I'm just Scottish level tight-fisted, I don't really have like a monthly or a weekly budget, which might be quite a surprise. But yeah, just by living cheaply generally, then it's not too painful for me to live the life that I do just now. It does end up biting me sometimes though. Like, for example, I've ended up staying in a hostel that had bed bugs, or just not particularly clean places. Recommendation I'd give is to actually read reviews of places you're going to stay at before you make the booking. Maybe if I'd done that, then I'd have read the thing about the bed bugs. But yeah, you live and learn. I tend to naturally keep costs down. So, for example, when I'm at home in Scotland, I'll stay with my dad. I don't have a car anymore, and I don't actually live in my own place. Like, I have a flat, but it's rented out. I generally actually enjoy walking places and eating cheaply, and I'm not usually that bothered about having the latest tech. Like, it would be nice to have a PS5, but I'm quite happy just living with my ROG Ally and PS4. And yeah, just generally having cheap hobbies. I think maybe a challenge I've maybe like to talk about doing fire is the lack of structure in your life. So when I was working a regular 9 to 5 or 10 to 8 or 9 when I was in Japan, that lifestyle tended to fill out most of your day, and then the weekends was spent at least recovering for me, and then the financial side of things was generally taken care of as well. When I'm not working all the time, it can be quite easy to have nothing much to do, and if you're not on the ball about meeting people or getting activities sorted out, then things can get kind of a bit blue, a bit. They have this thing called like retirement blues. I think it's when older people retire naturally, and then they find themselves with nothing to do, like how to fill the day. That's certainly something that happened to me. I remember I spent a couple of years in 2013 and 2014. I was on a working holiday visa in Taiwan. So the first year was okay because I was in Taiwan, in Taipei, studying Chinese. But when I got back home to Scotland, I was doing my own apps for a little while, but then I found that it was getting a little bit monotonous. I hadn't yet gotten into the habit of forcing myself out to meet friends and keep on the social side of things. You know, that's something that work tended to take care of for me. And also, I didn't really quite have the financials sorted out because I still had a mortgage to pay on the flat, and I still had my car as well. So things were tending on a downward trajectory. And as a result, I got a job back again in 2015. I think this time though, I've been a little bit more prepared. Possibly COVID and lockdown helped with that. The main thing that I've done is having a to-do app. So that's an app with daily recurring tasks for me to do. And there's nothing too crazy about them. It's like things like do 20 press-ups or call someone you haven't spoken to for a while, things like that. But just having an app like that, it's really helped me with the structure of things. If there's ever a time that I feel just a little bit bored or I've got nothing to do, I just quickly check the app and I'll find something that, you know, I can do that helps me forward, and I find it really effective, and it keeps me going. But yes, so this time Malaysia and Japan. Like I said, I've been in Japan for a month already, and I've done a few of the touristy things that I like to do. Akihabara mostly, the geek stuff, it's great. Meet my girlfriend, being ill quite a lot, so that's nice. And then I got a road trip to Osaka with my buddy, and we incidentally managed to stream snipe hiding in my room, which was just amazing. So I'm now a thumbnail picture on his channel, so that's awesome. I hope you're enjoying the travelling and airports and airplane montage I've got for you just now. It was actually my first time staying in Istanbul airport, and that place is amazing, by the way. They've got like a museum and Popeyes everywhere, and it's amazing. The whole place is huge and it's brand new. It's just a shame I couldn't eat anything because I'm sometimes sick on the airplane if I eat too much food, so that was a real disappointment. After my New York trip, I really wanted to eat Popeyes, but I just knew that the next flight forward would be a little bit dodgy, so a little bit disappointing there, but the place is awesome. If you ever get the chance, please change or go to Istanbul airport. It is just amazing. But yes, please enjoy the montage of flying halfway across the world in economy class, and please like and subscribe. I promise I'll try and get the Malaysia videos uploaded as soon as I can. Alright, take care.
your patience.